Alright guys, I wanted to run this story by everybody. This is kind of an open carry story slash violation of my civil rights and Second Amendment. Anyways, I'm going to tell this story, what took place last week, and let you guys kind of debate over it and see if I can get any feedback from you guys. I've been hesitant to do this story because I've been in talks with my lawyer over the civil rights aspect of this, but I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. Okay, so I open carry my firearm. Last week, I left work and I went up to the Speedway gas station on the east side of Indianapolis at 16th and Shadeland to grab a cup of coffee. I almost always open carry, but depending on where I'm at, I may conceal carry. This just depends on location. Either way, but this particular time, I happened to be open carrying. As I pulled into the gas station, I noticed there was a black police officer that was pumping gas. So I park my car, I get out, I holster my weapon, I walk towards the door. As I'm walking towards the door, I make eye contact with the officer. Now, I do this for a number of reasons, but mostly because I want the officer to have a level of comfort in knowing that I don't have anything to hide. I'm open carrying my weapon, and I'm doing so legally. I have nothing to hide. So, anyways, we make eye contact. He sees me, I see him. I see his eyes go towards my firearm. So he sees my firearm, and I proceed into the gas station to get my coffee. And so I'm in there. I get my coffee. I go up to the register. Now, mind you, this is a Speedway gas station that I go into probably every other day. It's right down the street from my warehouse. So I go to pay for my coffee. Same lady that I see, almost every time that I'm in there. I hand her the cash. She goes to hand me my receipt. And about that time, the cop that I see outside walks up to me, and he asks me. He says, "Are you a law enforcement officer?" I said, "No." I said, "Do you mind me asking why you're inquiring?" He said, "Well, because you've got a firearm." I said, "Well, yeah, I'm within my legal rights to carry my firearm." I said, "I am licensed." And about that time, the lady behind the counter said to him, she said, "Yeah, he's licensed. Trust me, I've seen the permit." And so we're standing there for a second. He kind of ignores the lady standing behind the counter, and he says, "Well, I'd like for you to come outside with me. I'd like to ask you a few questions." I said, "Okay, sure, let's go." So we turn around. I grab my coffee and my change, put my change in my pocket. We head towards the door, and as we're heading towards the door, he, without asking me, reaches over me. He's walking on my left-hand side. I'm holstered on the right. He reaches over me and goes to grab, without asking, my firearm from my Serpa holster, my Serpa safety holster. I stopped him and kind of pulled back. I said, "I would rather that you didn't do that. My weapon's actually loaded right now." And that didn't make me very comfortable. I said, I turned my hip towards him. I said, "You can go ahead and grab it now." I said, "I just, want to make sure we're on the same page here." He goes, "Well, for my safety, I just want to disarm you, while we have this conversation or whatever." So I leaned towards him, let him grab my firearm. He goes to yank it out, of my Serpa holster, and obviously it's locked in place. So I showed him where he had to hit the button, and then, he took the firearm out and dropped the clip and pulled the slide back and emptied the chamber. So about this time, we are stepping out the front door. We no sooner than step out the front door, and my foot hits the concrete, and 4 or 5, I think it was 4 more IMPD officers pull up out front, jump out of their cars, hands on their weapons, ready to draw their firearms. And the cop who stopped me, who happened to be a lieutenant, actually kind of calmed the guys down and said, I've got the firearm. Do me a favor and check for, check his his license to carry. So at this point, this is the first time this has ever happened to me. So, I was interested in attempting to ask a few questions of the officer that was talking to me. And he was real cocky. I mean, just real short-tempered and kind of all business, and which is fine. I mean, I know these guys, are in a tough spot. The jobs kind of suck, and they don't get paid real well. And I get that. I understand that. Trust me, I've got family that's spent their entire lives in law enforcement. Well, my wife's got several family members that are in law enforcement. I've got friends that are in law enforcement. I get it. I do. I understand. So anyways, he asked me, he said, you got a license to carry that firearm? I said, yeah, I got a license to carry the firearm. Well, let me see it. I said, well, I'd like to ask a few, and he stops me, he interrupts me. He says, there's no time for fucking questions. Let me see your permit. So I kind of got flustered, and I grab my wallet out of my back pocket, and I'll kind of show you what I did. I took my wallet out, and I opened my wallet. I'll get this crap out of here. I opened my wallet like this, and I'm standing there, and I put my finger back here to grab my license to carry, which is right here. And I got it out like this, and I said, I'm really kind of interested in what I was going to say was, did they have, I wanted to know what my rights were. Did they really truly have a right to stop me and to question me? And, of course, I didn't get any of these questions across before the cop interrupts me again and says, I said there's no fucking time for questions. And as he's saying this, he goes to grab for my wallet. And so what I did is when he went to grab for my wallet, I took and pulled my wallet back towards my person. I wasn't fighting him or resisting him in any way. I was just trying to prevent him from knocking my wallet out of my hand and, my shit going everywhere. So when I did that, he took offense to it in a major way. And so the guy grabs me by the hand. He's probably about 6 inches shorter than me. He grabs me by the hand and tries turning me, and he can't turn me. So this other cop grabs me by the other hand, and they both turn me simultaneously and throw me up against the plate glass window out front of the Speedway gas station. Press my head up against the window and carrying on about calm fucking down, and put me in handcuffs. So now I'm handcuffed, standing outside of the Speedway gas station. Mind you, in no way, shape, or form did I resist. I was attempting to ask questions, which, as far as I was, concerned, and as far as I'm aware, I was within my First Amendment rights to do so. I was under no suspicion of suspicious activity. No one called in on me. No one complained that I was open carrying my firearm. They just assumed that I was up to no good because I had a firearm on my hip. So, needless to say, as we're standing there, he gets my firearm, my license to carry out, and he checks that. And the lieutenant's back over there running a warrants check and trying to figure out what model gun I've got. And so I tell him, I said, it's SW40 VE. I said, the serial number's on the bottom side of the barrel. So he runs a warrant check and runs a felony check and just a general background check to make sure I'm legal to carry the firearm, that I don't have any outstanding warrants, that I'm not in any type of trouble. And he comes to the determination that, in fact, I am obviously free and clear, legal to carry the firearm, no outstanding warrants, no felonies or anything of the sort. So at about that time, he says to the asshole that threw me up against the plate glass window, he said, he's free and clear. You can go ahead and uncuff him now. And so I kind of pulled my hands over to the side from behind my back. I said, yeah, you can uncuff me now. And he goes, you need to calm down. I'll uncuff you when I'm ready. I said, you need to uncuff me now. I said, did you hear what he said? I said, I've done nothing wrong. I'm within my legal rights to carry my firearm. Please uncuff me now. And so Lieutenant walks back over there, and he said, I told you to uncuff him. Go ahead and uncuff him. So he uncuffs me, and all the other cops leave, and we're sitting there having a conversation, and I see my wallet and all my shit's flung everywhere, all over the top of this cop car. One of my rounds is sitting on top of the cop car. The cop's still got my firearm with my clip, and needless to say, I just feel violated in every possible way. I make sure that I do right by what the law of the land is. I keep my ass out of trouble. I don't do anything to violate any type of laws. I stay on the up and up. I enjoy my rights to carry a firearm, and I value that. And in no way do I want to put that at risk in any way. But to have what I feel like are my civil rights just completely and absolutely violated in every possible way, to be treated like a criminal, to be thrown up against a plate glass window and handcuffed because I tried to ask a question, to me is very frustrating. I see cops on a daily basis at the Speedway gas station that's by my house. I actually live on the south side, but every morning, I'm up real bright and early, and I see cops at the Speedway gas station by my house every day, 90% of the time, and never, not one time, have I ever been questioned by any officer, in my neck of the woods. Matter of fact, this morning I saw two. Neither one of them said a word. We made eye contact. I saw both the guys. They saw me. They didn't say anything to me. I guess there was just this assumption that, since I was, acting normal and open carrying my firearm and making eye contact and wasn't trying to avoid them, that there was no reason for them to worry. So anyways, guys, this video's gone on long enough. We're at 12 plus minutes now. It's going to take forever to fucking upload to YouTube. Excuse my language. But give me some feedback. I want to know what everybody thinks. I want to know what are your guys' feelings? Do you feel like I was violated? Do you feel like the cops had a right to treat me the way that they did? Do you feel like I had a right to ask questions before I was chastised and thrown up against a fucking window and handcuffed in front of everybody and their mom? Needless to say, by the way, too, the employees at the Speedway gas station both came out after the lieutenant left and asked me if I was okay, and told me that if I needed them to sign a statement of witness, that they would in fact do so. That they couldn't believe that the cops treated me that way and threw me up against the plate glass window. Anyways, protect our Second Amendment rights, guys. Tell me what you guys think. Give me some feedback. Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks.